Yo, I'm pretty hype. Obviously, I've been recording a lot of videos just because I'm looking at these charts and, I'm thinking to myself, nah, I don't want to record another video. But I can't stop filming because this stuff is just so right in front of my face, and I'm looking at it and I'm just thinking to myself, that nobody's talking about this stuff. It's right, it's right here. Let's look at this. But I thought it would be cool to have one chart on one side, no indicators, and then one chart on the other side with the ProSum Solutions indicator. And just so you can see, like I went back on some QFL screenshots after recording my last couple of videos. And to my surprise, well, maybe not to my surprise, but I was just intrigued where some of the buys and some of the sells were. And then also, tons of these like forum screenshots of advice, just going through and reading the perspective, some things that I don't necessarily employ that I know about, but sometimes I'll just kind of forget how valuable some of those things are. So after going through a lot of those screenshots, I actually went back on a transcript for a really amazing QFL video, like the definitive QFL video that I'm going to release. Like, it's not going to be one of these videos where I'm just kind of talking to a camera. It's actually going to be looking at a chart, and it's going to be like a script and stuff like that. So, and I'm working on it right now, but while I was working on it, I was looking at the charts and I'm like, I just need to shoot one of these videos. But that video is going to be super, super dope because it's really straight to the point, and those are usually the videos that I prefer when I watch YouTube videos. I watch a lot of YouTube videos and learn a lot that way, whereas this is just me talking, almost kind of like a podcast or something like that. Still really good information, but it is what it is. I've got other stuff that I've got going on, but let's see how many that we can go through. And in this case, I'm using the crypto pair screener at the bottom of TradingView, and I've got it sorted by volatility. And it's like I was saying in the last video, I'm just typing U period S period spacebar D, and that gives me the US pairs for Kraken. I've got that filtered, and I've got videos that you can watch about how I set this up. And then in a previous video, there was this other brand new crypto screener that TradingView just released as well. So you can watch videos on that as well. Real good stuff. But anyways, yeah, just going down the list. So if you're familiar with my videos, I always talk about 35% below the base and 55% roughly from top to bottom of the most recent highs. And you can see in this case, look at this coin. Now, I don't really know a lot about this coin, but what I can tell you right now is about 35 from top from the base right here. We've got it going down to about 35%, and from top to bottom, it eventually reached about 55% below the base. Now, most people are probably going to look at this and say, well, each one of these, it's, the average drop is about 12%, right? That's going to be what you're going to get if you measure this stuff out, right? So we're going to go through and I'm going to show you why, like while we're doing the video, you'll see why I don't like going by that metric, because that's usually, how QFL says that you want to do it is you want to, you draw your safe circle. Whoops. Not really good with the mouse. Really good with the trackpad, but not good with the mouse. Then you want to buy, towards the bottom of the safe circle, and then you want to, get some like that. And then if you can, get some down here. So most people will be like, well, that's not 35%. But if we actually take a look at what's going on, if we were to actually employ that right here, then we would see, let's get rid of that. Not that this would be the coin that you would be trading, but what would it be, like 12? And I'm just speaking from my experience, because this is how I initially was trading, like 2019 when I was doing this. So it'd be like, oh, okay, I'm going to buy a little here and do this. Now, the thing about QFL is I was looking at some of his screenshots, and some of his buys would be like right there, and he would just be selling them right there. And then he would buy some right there, and then he wouldn't sell any right here. And then you'd just see like a ton of green arrows like all right in here. And then you'd see like one buy right there. And then you'd just see like buys like that. And that's how he's doing it, because how he's buying, I was even reading some of the stuff, and this is why I haven't released that awesome mega video before, because there's a lot of like these variables that I have to clear up, because there's like varying ways of him explaining different pieces of information. It's kind of like complex, so it needs to be deduced down. But let's keep on going. Let's go actually to air. I was on this. I just deleted the charts. You can see like the reason why I like the Pro Sum Solutions one, even though it's technically not buying at a QFL base, the places where the bigger buys are towards the bottom are these blue arrows would be buys, and you'd be buying larger and larger as you went down. So every time, you're making twice the profits that you would make every time you see a blue triangle below the last one. So, you may be making $50 right here. Then if these two hit, you're going to make $100 with the spot. Then you're going to make $200, and you're going to make $400, and then you're going to make $800 using this particular bot strategy of martingale. But the problem being is that sometimes the price can run away on this bot, and it can get down in here. And all of these little teeny tiny buys, you could just make it up by putting one giant buy right down here, and then just riding it all the way up, and then just doing it in one trade. So there is like, pros and cons of all the different methods. But this one's great if, you're someone like me where you've got like a job, you're busy, you just want to have the money get made. And, QFL is kind of all about getting those opportunities. You do have to be prepared for those opportunities. But let's do this. Holy crap, 50%. And, you can't see my finger pointing at the chart, but I was going to point at all these wicks right here. But just to go to show you, if you weren't paying attention, or if you didn't set your alerts, and this kind of ran away on you, this, as you can see, this is very volatile, and that is a QFL rule. If something's volatile, you don't, the odds are less in your favor of it respecting, bases and whatnot. But to be fair, that did go down 46%. And so I'm just pointing out that, yes, crypto can go down like 46. And if you were to, use my logic, then you would say, from the most recent high or something like that. But I mean, even like that, because these bases, as they get drawn, in fact, like, let's see if we can see where it drew one of these bases. Yeah, you can see that it drew a base about right here. So can I just take this and move that up there? Yeah. Oh, cool. So, it put a base right there, but you can see it keeps resetting. And so it keeps getting smaller size and stuff like that. But anyways, let's keep going, because last video I regret not, going as fast, and I was explaining too much. Man, I loved trading this coin Brick. It was like Reddit meme coin or something like that. By the way, I'm using the price range tool. You can use the date and price range as well. I just don't really care for the date information. I like the price information, but you can also use this ruler, but it disappears, and I don't like that. You can also hold down shift and click. But if you want to keep it there, you just use this price range one. And you can see, now this is like a second, or maybe it's, I guess, a third QFL strategy, where a price goes up and then comes back down, and you buy it at 50% off. And then you can sell it at about, this is the 50% mark right here, and then you sell it right here, and then, you buy it right here, and then you sell it right as it comes up. And if it does go down further, then you can sell it a break even. That was an interesting QFL strategy. But anyways, let's just kind of keep going with this whole situation. And we do this. So again, like, the safe circle mentality is like, let's take two months of price, and you can, by the way, you can click this right here. This is actually kind of cool. I don't recommend this as much as I should, but you can look and get like 2 months of price action. This is 3 months of price action. But it automatically loads that up on your chart. Then what you can do is, instead of drawing safe circles, it's like, why don't you just get the actual measurements with this price range tool? and you can favorite it, by the way. I've said it a million times, but it's nice to say it for, if you didn't know that. And then you've got a little cool favorites bar that you've got right there. And I've got all kinds of favorite-y kind of Fibonacci and the, man, this GAN box, I'll have to make another video for this one, but let me just show you what is possible with this thing, because I was going to add it for this video, but you could have like a bounce, and then you could just say, well, these are the layers that I want to buy in. And I'll just show you this if you want to just pause that and screenshot my settings. This was for a different strategy, but I was using it earlier and I was like, man, that's kind of dope. The GAN box, and that's in this window right here. So, but I mean, you get the idea. Woo. You know, you could come into here and you could say, and again, I'm making up stuff as we're shooting this video. So it's not like this is some tried and true strategy. I'm just like coming up with this, but you know, you could see like for the 36%, maybe you put this as your base, but I mean, come on, like maybe just put it like, not, you know, including the wicks, just the bodies. And then these could be your buy layers right here. So that's kind of cool. I guess I did include that in the video. Moving on. I mean, look at, can you see why I like that ProSum Solutions bot? I mean, it's just like, you look at like naked price action, you're like, I don't see no trades in there. And this thing's over here just like making money. that bot is just ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Now, this is hypothetical because, you know, if you have money on the books, it's going to affect the chart. So anyways, so we're going to measure. Oh, wow. That's some pretty decent price action, although not a lot of volume. Still, though. Omni? Man. Gonna have to cut this part out of the video. You didn't see that. Dang. But yeah, I mean, you know, a good AB chart. Kind of. I mean, look at that. February 4th and then February 20th. So there's like not a lot of volume. But, you know, let's just do this. Let's just see. Gosh. I mean, still though, like if you were to land a buy right there, that's sick. It is what it is. Don't get mad. But oh yeah, and I really like this horizontal ray. Oh, Option J, cool, or Alt J if you're on a PC. Yeah, always learning something new up in here. Dang. So in terms of like, if you're, I'm over here just like not actually showing, you know, how to how to trade this, but I mean in this case, you know, the buys are right here. This is actually kind of more of like an AB trade kind of a situation, and then this is like a hybrid AB, so it's kind of like the best of both worlds. But I mean, you can see right here the lowest buy would be at 15, so they would have it be way down here. But I mean, like, dude, I bet if you put buys anywhere in here, you know what I mean? Like, just left some money in there. And what's crazy about it is stuff. Okay. I'm getting excited. I'm like, yeah, let's pull this up really fast. TUSD. Check this out. I was pissed too. I was like double pissed. Because this, woo. Okay. This first wick happened, and I was like, dang, because I've been really close to landing a couple of these, they're, you know, fat finger trades. I mean, dude, this one went down to like 0.00003. I think it was like Luna. I was trading that thing the whole way down. It was so scary. And I got to the very bottom, and I like had been trading it for days, and I was like, you know what, I've had enough. I'm just gonna make my $100 that, you know, I was like trading such a small amount. But look at the gains on, like, dude, so right, I'm like, man, I need to put some money on that chart. 8 days later, the thing drops down, and you may be like, well, that's just 0.001, but it's at 0.01. So imagine if I would have just put, and I was doing the calculations on that, if I would have just put like $5 down there, or like, even if it was just like a couple dollars, like I've got money to do that. But I thought about that, and I was like, you know, there's like this many pairs. Like if you were to just put money on the books like that, like that could just be a strategy in and of itself. So going back to that other coin, Omni, that's why I'm saying, like, don't blow it off and just be like, that's a dumb idea. Like, don't put money down. No, this is for real. It is for real. And it's funny. Actually, I was going on some prior videos. I think I already talked about this before, but I was doing this exact same thing where I was measuring. I was like, the price can go down 55%. And it was a very significant bearish impulsive move that went down, but it actually went down that far. But I was also, man, I've got a bunch of videos when I was actively trading. Kind of sad that I'm not actively trading. Although I still watch the market. I love just like talking about it and, learning about it. I can't stop learning enough about this. I watch my own videos and I will forget things that I'm saying, and I will like educate myself because I'll, study a bunch of QFL and then I'll get inspired and shoot a video, and then I'll kind of forget some of it, and I'll watch the videos and go, oh yeah, I forgot those points. So in a lot of ways, these videos really are just like refreshers for me, to remember all of the stuff that I'm learning, because I have a folder just called Coin, and that thing is jam packed full of like quotes on screenshots of like trades, QFL trades, my trades. I forgot that I had so many killer trades, but it blows my mind how much potential that this market has, and also going back and seeing, like how much coins were worth back then when I was trading them. I'm like, dang. And actually how much more coins were worth back then compared to now. I'm like, shoot, man, like coins are actually a lot cheaper than, they were. So here's a situation. I want to show you this. So like in this case, with QFL, it's like, here's the safe circle, right? It's about 12. So assuming that you want to get outside of the safe circle, then you might do something like this. Like, let's actually measure. So let's do like, I was reading a QFL quote from that PDF that has been floating around. It was like a Google Doc of, it was like the definitive QFL trade PDF or whatever that explained QFL. And he was saying how like he'll take, 2% of his portfolio and he'll put that on the charts. And then he said sometimes, like if it's a really reputable coin, at the time he was trading Ethereum, he said that, he would have it be upwards of like 30% of his portfolio that he would be trading, having one trade on a chart, and then possibly I think upwards of like 50% of his portfolio at a time. And that may just be, when I say portfolio, that may be just on that particular exchange. So because he had coins like all over all different types of exchanges, like that dude is crazy, like genius crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like he's on another level. And I probably should invest more time into this, but I just, it's a vibe that you have to be kind of part of with trading. And there's a part of me that loves trading, but there's a part of me that, I don't love trading. Like, sorry, there's like cooler things out there to do. So I'm sorry, this is just a bunch of beep boop kind of sitting down in a room, and I like going places and doing things, which is why I like bots so much, because I'll be out with my phone doing all these trades, and for me that's way more exciting than being here. But when you are sitting down at a computer, there's so much more potential for you to get more out of these trades. But so some of the things, just kind of maybe you could say like updates to what I've been understanding after rereading some of the QFL stuff, is that, look, in previous videos, I'm like, look, it goes down, about 35% is like a good place to kind of have some money prepared right there. And then I say, and 55% from like pretty much the most recent high, which ironically, ends up coming down to right there, but you may see it like that, or you may see it like that. And when I was looking at some of his trades, I was noticing that that he would get really aggressive on some of these moves, but then he would also like sell pretty aggressively. So a lot of his charts ended up looking like this. Maybe not like some of these like first ones up top right here. So this right here is the same as this right here. But he would kind of get in on some size and then he would sell it and then he would end up kind of doing a similar thing where all of these layers are. So he was trading a little bit more, but he wasn't trading as much size as this necessarily would, because this is a martingale style of layering. And the thing about martingale layering is you never really get that big chunk of size, which is why they call it hybrid A/B trading, because QFL trading, that exponential layering, the money, the way that he's got the money set up is like his pyramids are like, you know what I mean? Like the big chunks of money are sitting right there. So like 75% of that trade might be there, you know what I mean? And 20% might be there, and then 5% might be there. Can you see the difference between like 50%, you know what I mean? 25%, and then like 12.5. You see what I'm saying? Like, look at the difference in terms of, I mean, that really is the big difference. That's the aha right there. And I'm saying it right now, and that is definitely something, if I would have known initially, because look, like in 2019, I wasn't dumb. It was just that, like, when I first was reading the strategy and trying to understand it, it is a very, actually, as a matter of fact, I was reading something else earlier, and they were definitely describing, hey, they were like, this is a very rigid trading strategy. You do have to follow it. It's very rigid, but it's simple. It's just, it's very rigid. But at the same time, where it's rigid, it's also flexible in terms of, anywhere in profit is fine, right? So, looking at where, like, how those pyramids were set up and where he was buying and selling and stuff like that, it was eye-opening for me, because when I was first trading, I actually still have the screenshots, and I mean, I'm almost embarrassed to bust those screenshots out. But I mean, I kind of was just throwing money in. There was this one coin on Binance called EVX, and you could only trade it with like Bitcoin or Ethereum. But man, that Ethereum chart, it was like anytime it went down, it would just come right back up, and it was amazing. Like for me, when I was first trading it, I was like, I get QFL, I understand this. But then I would try it on other coins, and there weren't buyers in the market, and so it was one of those things where I wanted something that was surefire. So I started studying other trading strategies, Ichimoku, and like longing and shorting, and a bunch of like, scalping, stuff like that. And ended up coming back to QFL. And so that's where all of these bigger numbers came from. But in the beginning, I would just like throw some money right here, like not even like managing my portfolio and thinking about it. And then it would come down here, and then I'd buy some right there, and then it would come down here, and I'd buy like way less down here. And then I would like sell some right here. And then, like you'd see like a little buy arrow right there. And then you just see me like sell like all of it like right at the base. And I'm like, what was I think? Like I had no like robotic strategy. I was just kind of like feeling my way through that. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's such the opposite of like what this bot is doing. I mean, look at this bot. Every time you see a blue arrow, that thing is like guaranteeing profits. And while it's not perfect, it's like I can just leave that and go to bed and wake up, and it's just like I made profits. He's like, just the bot is just running. And that's why I loved, once I saw the bot, then it changed how I traded, and I was like, oh, I need to be way more rigid with this. But then I would see, the bot, I don't want to say it would make mistakes, but it would almost sell, and then I would just manually sell it. and then reload the layers up. And you can watch that in some previous live trading videos that I was doing. And you can kind of get an idea of like, oh, okay, I see what he's saying. Like, it's rigid, but at the same time, it's flexible in the sense that crypto is very forgiving about, what's going on. Hopefully you're seeing what I'm doing while I'm, doing all of this right here. I'm just saying, hey, look, like, this is, we're the last, like, we're getting these measurements. And so we're like, okay, well, where would we want to buy? And so you'd want to start nibbling right here. You know what I mean? Like that, just like that, like nibble, small, medium, large, extra large. And if you're not confident with the coin, then you may have this be like, 2% of your entire portfolio, for instance, if you're trading a lot of coins. So then you would take that 2% and you would say 75% of that 2% is allocated right here. And then, 20% is right here. And then, 5% or maybe 4%, right? 4%, and then like 1%. See the difference? So it's like, look at the size difference. Like, are you trading this way? Because when price comes down, like, you know what I'm saying? And it hits like that, and you hit that huge size, as it starts coming up, it's like, dude, you end up selling the majority. Like, you're making so much more money that way, and you may not land it every time, and you may not get every layer hit. There's so many things and factors that go into this, where it's just kind of like days and weeks will go by and there just won't be any trades going on. And then, so I mean, there is that factor of like, a lot of that is really, going on, happening. And also, like, QFL has like tons and tons of alerts. He said he had like, I was reading on the QFL book, and it was like, he's got like 200 alerts going at a time. Whereas for me, I just, I just don't want to do that. Okay. I would rather, live my life and have the opportunities kind of come to me. I like the screeners that kind of consolidate and just like make that process more efficient. But there is so much more money to be had, especially if you're like near your computer and you can trade, or if you can be near your phone, you have like a good like system going on for that. So that really is kind of the idea, is like, oh, okay, like, yeah, it is nice to have like alerts and stuff like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 10, 35, 150, 1,000, or $1, $1, $3, 10, $15, right? $100. So you've got like, I'm not going to draw a freaking dollar sign, but that's the play. And maybe you might, if you're an if you're an impatient person, you do not need to be trading this. Hopefully this is like really helpful for you to see, because for me, this is intuitive. Like, when I look at this stuff, I'm just like, I remember there was a time when I would look at this stuff and I would just be like, I don't get it. But like if I were to give you some homework, where if you feel that way right now, is like, all you got to do is just like draw a bunch of V's, draw a bunch of check marks. Like, you'll get it in 2 seconds. Like, and then, from there you measure, the buyer reactions. I mean, that's like way too big of a buyer reaction, but it, and you can exclude the wicks, but I mean, you'll get it really fast that like most of these buyer reactions are at least like 20, 25. But with that said, like, once you see the V shapes and the check marks, then you can just put a little thing right there. And the only problem here's like a big caveat or problem that I feel, like when I'm always like, go down 35%. The reason I say go down 35% is because here's the thing. This was the problem that I had, and this is why I quit hanging out in like those QFL forums. It was like, I mean, no offense to any of those people in those QFL forums, but like, that like I don't vibe with most of those traders, and it's like that in a lot of, like, like where there's a lot of people that are experts. It's like the people that I prefer to work with are just like really chill and cool people, and for a lot of people like this, it's like a sport, and I don't vibe with that. Like I'm really from the side of like musicianship. Obviously, see Herbie Hancock back there, and as a musician, it's all about like inclusiveness. And if there is competition, it's usually like friendly, like two musicians going at it, like going back and forth, and it's got like a good positive vibe. Where like sports is like a little bit more competitive, and so like people communicating all of this, I just felt like. It's like, oh, well, that's not, oh, I messed up this trade. What do you guys think? It's like, well, that wasn't the base right there. And it's like, well, that's the base. And then it's like, well, I didn't get in the trade. And they're like, well, that's because the base is up there. It's like just super like competitive. And the most important thing that I noticed was like, if you're unsure about a base, then just take the first one that you have. And like I said, draw like 35% down. And for me, that has cleared up about like almost 100% of the confusion with QFL. Like even right here, it's like, okay, go down 55%. And then, then I don't know yet because I haven't measured this, but I'm going to guess this is going to come really close to that 55. Yep. Look at that. Like skirt right there. So that's where these two numbers have really come in. And I mean, look at this. Look, I just randomly I don't know this chart. I just scroll, like it just showed up on the screener. But like, watch this. Like, okay, 40% from right here, and I don't know the history of the chart. I mean, this is like this is a new coin. You want more history with these coins. But I mean, look at this. Like, even though this did kind of come up and, has done that, and then you've got to grind, you'd stick away from that. Like, there's all these rules about like trading this, and then like, here's this little gap. Well, there wasn't really a bounce for that. So you would have stayed away from this whole movement down, right? But let's say you were a novice and you didn't know about any of this at all, right? Well, even if you were to draw the base, let's say like right here, okay? Like, look at that. You know what I mean? Like there's 55% right there. And that's if you were to draw the base like right there. So you can see why I'm like, like price really does kind of do that. And I feel like most people are going to get it wrong, like sooner or later. It's going to be some time. So I like to have that flexibility of like, if you have your price things at like negative 35 and 55%, that enables you to make so many more mistakes and get into so many more trades. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm like, look, you can buy in like right here and all of that stuff. But the real thing is it's kind of like, again, like watching those, going back recently on those QFL videos, it's like, oh, wow, like he's looking over here at this thing. And that took me some time. Like I had to get used to, and I still benefit from having this little indicator open. Like it's super beneficial for me, and this is a crutch for sure. But if I had to delete this, then I'm gonna look at this number right here, 32. That was like the most recent high. So I can just say half of 30 is 15, like right there. So that's a relatively good deal. And even then, this is pretty volatile because it was already 15 like a couple days ago. So like that's not really that good of a deal. It's kind of like, man, I got this coin at 15, 15 cents. It's like, that's not a good deal. It's like, why? It's like, man, it was just Wednesday and it was 15 cents and I got it at 15 cents too, and it's like, oh, okay, well then what would be a good deal? Be like, man, if you were to get it at like 9, 10 or like 8, man, that would be an amazing deal. It's like, well, what about like 11? Be like, yeah, that actually would be a good deal because that was like, previous lows, that's below there. So yeah, that would be a good deal. Like there's your mentality right there. He's like, QFL's always like, I'm just looking for like a better deal. Give me a better deal. Like I want it. I want the best deal possible because at that point, then it's like emotionally irrational and people are just giving away the coins. Ha! Look at that, all these little baby trades, but there's not a lot of participation. That's what I don't like about this. But look at this, man. Wow, it's almost at 35%, below from starting from right there. That's incredible. You know, so when I draw the base right there and do that, then 35 is right there. But they draw the base right here because what's cool about this indicator is it's factoring in moves going down that are going down and they're not coming back up for air. That to me is almost more relevant. I hear QFL talk about that a lot, where he's like really concerned and he measures, you know, with the he does it with the trend line, where he'll say, you know, the move will be like from here to here, and then he'll take this little trend line and he'll say, you know, he'll do that. He'll like, that's not a good example because this price action is more for like A/B trading. Let's go to another one. I'm looking at a lot of coins. I haven't really gone through lately and done it. I want to do a video actually for the screen. I have the ProSum Solutions back tester. Man, like I feel like I probably did a video with one of those, but that to me, it's so awesome because it really like scrubs the volatility in the charts, which I love. Wow, look at that. There's a lot of, oh, there was a lot of trading going on inside of here. Dang. I mean, that's not like, you know, that crazy. And honestly, it's kind of dying out right there. Not really all that blown away. But, I mean, still. I just like to see buyers in the market. It's been pretty dead, if you know what I'm saying. There you go. But yeah, I mean, just seeing some of those QFL quotes. Yeah, I'm pretty hype about that one video I was telling you about, the definitive QFL video. It's definitely going to be some work. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, I'm kind of not looking forward to it because I'm going to have to shoot screenshots and like have animations, and man, that stuff takes that's a lot of time, and I'm kind of busy right now. Like, these videos are easy because I could just press record, throw it up on YouTube, and I'm good to go. But you know, some of these, like some of those will take like 5-10 hours, 20 hours, like realistically, like probably 20 hours from start to finish, you know, between like finalizing the script, shooting the videos, recording the audio for it. It's like a full-on blown production, but like it's one of those videos where it's like it's going to get shared a lot, it's going to get a lot of views, like it's, I mean, whatever, like views, whatever. But for me, what views means is like a lot of people are going to benefit from it, and that's why I'm eager to make it, is because I know that it's going to be one of those videos that people will come back to. And you know, it's the video that I wish that somebody would have made me, because I remember in 2018 I was going through YouTube trying to find that video and I couldn't find it, and it was like really frustrating because I would find videos, and I even found like a QFL video, but he was like not talking about QFL. He was, but he wasn't. It wasn't like a good QFL video. It was like not one of the good QFL videos or something like that. It was like right before Bitcoin dropped from 6K to 3K, and he was like, man, look at all, you know, I wonder how many stop losses are right below 6,000. And it's just funny because like if I would have kind of gotten to watch those videos sooner, then I would have maybe understood more at an earlier time about like how, you know, the trading works with QFL, because you know I ended up trading a lot of Ichimoku trading, which I do. I mean, I love freaking Ichimoku. I have it like in the gray backgrounds. Like if we go to another one, I mean, I sincerely am grateful, but it definitely hindered a little bit of my progress in terms of just kind of sticking with QFL, because with Ichimoku, I mean, it's just such a great indicator in terms of, it's kind of like the weather channel of crypto. And, it's like thunder showers when it's, below these, moving averages. They're not moving averages, but whatever the cloud. And then, it's like bearish thunderclouds, and then it's like sunshine and, bullish when on the daily it's above these moving averages. And it is like, you can see, like, I mean, look at that, like, and then, indecision and whatnot. I mean, geez, this is, man, key. Yeah, look at this. Like, key's been around actually for a minute, but you can see, like, right here, once it gets above this, then boom, that's when it went freaking bullish. It crosses over and it's sunshine. It's like, usually it takes like a whiff of some sunshine and then it just shoots up. And then from there, boom, bearish. And then it can't break past the cloud, indecision. And then look at that, breaks above the cloud finally, boom, sunshine, 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 boom, goes down. It's like thunderclouds, thunderclouds, thunderclouds. Can't get above it again. Thunderclouds, 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 thunderclouds. You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate it, but yeah, I am looking forward to that video because I think a lot of people will benefit from finding it. And dang, look at that one though. What is this? Oxy? Holy crap! What the heck happened there? That's terrible. Jeez. Yeah, super valuable to view like on a daily or a weekly, see what's going on. Oof. Man. That's terrible. But, on the plus side, dude, if this thing goes back up to its like previous, holy crap, man. I mean, like, even if you just like make some free coins down here, like just $5-10 worth of free coins, you can kind of see what's going on over here. And I mean, that to me, that's really what I like about these Pro Sum Solutions bots is like, I'll just like put it on there and boom, it'll just start making some free coins. I won't even be thinking anything. I'll just be like, oh, just bought some Oxy. Oh, just sold some Oxy. You can see, I mean, like, I am going to preach that QFL is the superior strategy. I was looking at this one. I was like, holy crap, like XCN, man, that went up 42. Most people are like excited like only after it goes up. I'm like, no, like that's not how it works. Like you don't buy it after it makes the move up. Like that's not how no. In terms of this, it's like, well, where's the base? I mean, dude, the base is right there. Look, there's the latest buyer reaction. It's probably like, yep, 25. Like, I had a feeling it was at 25. And it's like, well, what are you going to do? You're going to draw it down like negative 35? I don't know, maybe. Like, I mean, will I buy right there? I mean, look, let's just measure down like, okay, it's gone down about 10% right there. How much should it go down right there? I mean, that's kind of a grind, but still that's like 14%. I mean, the whole freaking chart is a grind. What do you want me to do? And it's like this whole like 8%, like putting size at 8%. Like, what's the freaking, like, there we go. And look, like, this was at the beginning of the month. You know what I mean? It's like, you're supposed to look at 2 months of price action. And it's like, oh, well, that was like a big move up. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like 2 months. You know what I mean? Like, there we go. 23. Like, see what I'm saying? And then if we were to measure like from right here to right there, look, there's 35%. Like for somebody else, they may miss this first move right here. They'll be like, that's not really that good of a move. And then it shoots back up and they're like, oh. And then it comes back down further and they're like, okay, well, here, I'll get in on this. Boop, 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 boop. But it'll only be like 23. But it's like, I'm still thinking about, this price of what it was the other day, which was, 3 cents. It's like, now we're at like 18, 17 cents. Like, it's all in context. What was the price the other day, the other week, the other month? Like, that's, a big deal to me. And look, 25 again. Man, I feel like I keep just shooting the same video over and over again, but at the same time, it's like there's these little insights that I'm doing. And usually I like to, whoa, what happened here? Oh, it just died out. Look at that. Dang, look at that though. That's about 25 to 29% that it's, man, where did this start? February 13th, right there. Look at that. Sheesh. That's just terrible. So like in a situation like this, man, you want to stay away from the grinds. And this is actually where I'm working on that video right now, is the video where I'm going to have to like fill in some blanks, is what to do about the buying and selling parts. Because if you're looking at this and you're like, yeah, look at this right here, like boom, buyer reaction, and I'm gonna get like, right, here's my chart and I've got all my buy layers, and I'm gonna start buying at about like, maybe like, I'll start, I don't know, like that. At 15%, I'm gonna start nibbling, and then, I'm gonna start buying in like that. And then it, you see it as kind of like like grinding, and then it's like boop, and then it stops right there, and it's like kick, and then it hits a couple layers, and you're like, what do I do now? And then it's like just slowly chipping away at your stuff, and maybe it comes down, and look, I mean, you could technically get out right there for giving crypto. Look at that, and I mean, let's like measure. That is 30%. Like, so, I mean, these grinds, they are still forgiving grinds, but at the same time, it's like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 12, like, geez, but that might be a lower cap coin. Like, it is definitely helpful to know the volumes of the coins and all that stuff. And by the way, I'm just, again, sorting by like the volatility just of today, but you can also sort by the volatility week, which I also like. And then, the monthly performance, year-to-date performance, yearly performance. Like, I look at all of those things. I definitely like to, there's like 362 matches for USD pairs on Kraken, but I do like to sort through, and I like to know what the most volatile coins are, and know thy coin. I don't know. I feel like we've got like a pretty good thing going on right now. Like if somebody is really struggling, they're like, man, I'm really kind of like unsure what I'm doing here. It's like, because if you've got, let's say you've got realistically like 5, 10, possibly even 15 coins that you're trading like this, I mean, that is a lot. That's a lot of coins, but one of them is going to go, and it's going to go crazy, right? And one of them is probably not going to go that far down. And if you've only got like $1 right here, and you've got like 100 right here, and you only go down like $1 right here on one coin, and the other one is like going crazy, like just melting down, and it's like way down here, you can go to the other coins and like cancel out all the orders, and then free up and reallocate that money, and just start like, as QFL says, like throw the farm at it. So, these are just things that as you're getting ready and gearing up for this, you do kind of have to, unless you have like one of these bots, and even still, like, look at, this is why I'm screening for all the volatile coins, is because you can see, like in this case, it's like 17th, and then also like down to the 25th. I've had coins do this where it's like, man, this thing is like taking forever. And then it hits like, this is 35%, from, I guess, right here. So that's 35% down, like that. Well, 35%, like, or really 34% right there. And but yeah, that's crazy, like 40%. But you know, if you were to draw the base right there, is there like anything? Yeah, like significant base. I mean, look, this is a bunch of grinding, you know, and this is. I'm really gonna. I really look forward to making that video and really tackling this whole problem of like what to do when the grinds happen, because you know, on that PDF, the QFL PDF on that Google Doc or whatever, he has already quantified that, and just reading those things, I can see why that, you know, he feels like he's adequately explained the strategy, because for him, he did say that at one point, and so for him, he's like, hey, everybody, like, spread the word of what I said, but oftentimes it can be forgotten, and it's like a very important rule, but people just kind of disregard it, and it's like, man, that is a really valuable thing. What he said, he's like, if it comes down, it starts to grind, like, don't buy anymore, and like buy a whole lot less down here, and like move your layers down, you know, from this grind, because like it's starting to not do what I'm wanting it to do. What I want it to do is I want it to, you know, drop like a penny from the roof. Like I want it to go down and then, whoops, not go backwards in time. You know, like he wants it to do that. Like this, like that came down, it dropped up like, you know, a V. And this is more of like a I don't even know what you'd consider that, but that's definitely like not what he's saying. Like this is more, if anything, like you can see there was like a buy reaction, and then you would draw the base right there. You know what I'm saying? And then there's a little panic of like, you know, 15, 16%. But, you know, I'll leave you with this, because actually this is a really long video. That what he is saying is like, he's not trying to predict where price is going to go. He's just reacting to it and just saying, but if there is anything to predict, I think that's definitely an important thing that needs to be focused on. Is he's saying like this is a game of odds, and so he is just measuring like, hey, how far, like if you were to go like 3 months out. I don't know if I can do 3 months out on this. Oh, I guess I could. But let's just say from like 2025, right? Because that's 2 months of price action. He's saying, you know, let's draw, like let's measure stuff out. Let's see how much he was doing. You know, the trend lines, but I like the measuring tools. So because you can see the actual measurements. But I mean, he was, you know, doing it like relatively primitive. He's like, hey, look, if the move looks like that, then chances are, then it's probably going to do that exact same looking move on the chart. And maybe not even necessarily like the measurement of it all. But I think that that's really important, is he's like, it's probably going to do that again. So it's not necessarily like predicting, it's just kind of like noticing patterns. And then if it breaks outside of the pattern, then for him, he's like, that's good, because that's what we want. And we're kind of, you know, anticipating that, because that's what we do want, is we do want it to go outside of its normal zone of what it's normally doing. So like it is normally going 16%, but ideally we would like for it to go, right, 20, 30%. That would be great. So I think that to me is really like beneficial and important, is like it isn't predicting, but at the same time it's, you know, identifying patterns and saying, okay, well, can we see that pattern again? And I think that's really going to be like the benefit of watching all of these videos, is like, you know, if I can understand these patterns and then just kind of get with the patterns and then have enough room for it to go outside of those general patterns and then make money when it goes outside of those general patterns, then I'll be sitting in a good position. And, you know, again, the reason why I'm having even more extra padding is usually because most people see it start to climb up, and then they get excited, and then they start drawing these really puny little bases, and then they get stuck in a trade, and then they sell at a loss, and then they start like, I lost so much money with QFL. It's like, how are you supposed to lose money when there's no stop losses? You know what I mean? Like, but I get it because I've traded it and I'm like, ooh, I made a mistake. And then I just kind of like sell at a loss. And I'm like, that didn't happen. Anyways, let's leave on that note right there. Yeah, hopefully I'll get that QFL, mega video uploaded soon. But in the meantime, hopefully this will uncover as much as I can possibly uncover for you. All right, peace.